And good morning, everybody. Welcome into Arch City now. It's a Friday. It's a relaxed Friday. I got the baseball cap on today, ready to rock and roll with you guys. Get us into our weekend, Friday, January 9th, 6:07 is the time. So glad you are with us. All right, we've got a lot to cover today, as we normally do here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Um, and all things St. Louis all the time, other stories of national interest that may make news for you, whatever moves the meter for you. News stories, headlines, entertainment, sports, you name it, food, we cover it. We're ready to rock and roll with you from that standpoint. Also, lots to get into when it comes to things in the St. Louis area. I was up late last night. Boy, oh boy. Jumping on the show, by the way, we're on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Once again, X, Facebook, and YouTube. You can jump in there, chime in, let us know what's going on. We appreciate you guys being with us. Also, from that standpoint, if you guys have story ideas that we should be talking about, give shout outs for people. We love to do that too. Of course, it's all about promoting St. Louis, the positivity from that standpoint. On Monday, we'll be talking with Kelly Lamb Montgomery. She's put together a new book of 39 entrepreneurial women throughout the St. Louis area, talking about their highs and lows, the adversity, the successes, things from that standpoint. You can get it on Kindle. You can get a paper book copy as well, sharing their individual stories. Just a terrific idea from that standpoint. Also, we'll be talking, I guess, next week. We'll be talking with the owner of Route 66 Cannabis to get an update on what's happening when it comes to the cannabis industry in Missouri, what's new, what's shaking, what's good, what's maybe not so good, those sorts of things. Also, there's a Midwestern Film Award show that's going to be held in St. Louis. We'll be talking with the organizer from that, Tannen Sweet. That'll be coming up next week as well. So lots of interviews, and we appreciate you guys letting us know about what interviews you want to see, what's happening out there. And of course, we appreciate everything that you guys are doing from that standpoint of keeping us updated. We need you guys to jump in. Of course, you can listen to us on 590 AM. We're also on X, Facebook, and YouTube, as we were just talking about. For more about our show and other shows, you can go to our website, luinfo.com. Once again, that is luinfo.com. It's the weekend. What kind of plans do you have for the weekend? If you have things going on, let us know. Also, whenever you guys have events that you want to promote, pop up, let us know, jump on in. If there are restaurants, bars, people that are doing a good thing for you guys, just let us know. We'll pop that in for you. We'll keep you posted. And of course, bring whatever we possibly can from that standpoint. So U.S. Figure Skating Championships are in St. Louis. We talked about the $20 million revenue that's bringing, the economic impact to the St. Louis area. It's off to a good start too so far. We've talked about the Americans putting together their team. There's 4 disciplines in the sport of figure skating. The Americans are current world champs in 3 of the 4. That's called domination. And those winners are all in St. Louis right now. And last night, 2-time defending champion Amber Glenn set the record for a women's short program with her score already. So she's off to a flying start, as expected. She has a narrow lead over the world champion, Alyssa Liu, heading into the free skate. So that'll be interesting. Liu had broken the record, and then mere minutes earlier with the score of 81.11 last night, she had a standing ovation from the packed crowd. And by the way, the Blues have played absolutely or the Blues. The St. Louis crowds that have gone out to look have been absolutely great. They have looked really, really good so far. And then right after Alyssa Liu set the record, Glenn took the ice and was flawless. She had an opening triple. Axel, she finished with a combination spin. So she had 83.05. So you've got some history unfolding in St. Louis with the hockey, at where the Enterprise is, where they're playing, where the Blues play. That's what I was talking about, the Blues. So they are just really, really rocking and rolling. Also, you've got figure skating today and tonight. Um, just looking forward to what you have tonight. You can watch it on USA at 7 p.m. And then NBC has the coverage as well, picking up. So anyway, uh, the United States figure skating rolling. If you guys want to get into that, you can talk to us there too. The weather has been absolutely wonderful. We've been talking about that, but that's going to change today. Much colder weather throughout the weekend, but we knew it was coming. We had a really nice week. It was very, very comfortable. I mean, literally, it was 66 degrees at midnight last night. 66. Uh, the best record for January 9th, by the way, today was 65, set in 1876. But now the temperatures are falling pretty big time. And if you've been outside, if you haven't, you might have heard it too. The rain last night, we had winds. The winds are going to ease back down. They had 40-mile-per-hour winds this morning. That's what producer Ryan and I got to deal with. And then, of course, after that, we got a little cold front. So as we look at today, temperatures into the lower 30s, it's going to bring some light overnight rain. And, we'll kind of get into that. So here comes the weekend. Saturday, tomorrow, highs only in the low to mid 40s. Sundays back down into the 30s. And then today, maybe getting into the 50s. So not what we've had, but certainly could be a whole lot worse in regards to what we have going on. We'll get into that coming up today as well. Also, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Last night, it went late. I stayed up for it, but what a game. One of the best college football games I've seen in a long time. Ole Miss, Miami. Ole Miss scores what appears to be a go-ahead winning touchdown, and then Carson Beck and Miami go right back down the field, score a touchdown with under a minute remaining, actually under 30 seconds remaining, and actually make two big plays. They cover 40 yards and give themselves a shot to win on the final play of the game. A throw up into the end zone, controversial play, call, non-call, pass interference or not on a Miami defender against an Ole Miss receiver. Nonetheless, game ends. Miami wins 31-27. They are going to the college football national championship. Ole Miss played. It's a shame that either one of those two teams had to lose last night. Former running back Kewan Lacey from Missouri last year. I mean, here's the deal. Kewan Lacey was not going to be as good as Ahmad Hardy or Roberts. He was going to be third string, probably, maybe ahead of Roberts. Who knows? Bottom line is this. He transferred to Ole Miss, and he got hurt last night. He broke off a touchdown earlier in the game. He did what he could in the final drive to help them score the go-ahead touchdown, but Kewan Lacey was hurt. You have Kewan Lacey. Maybe the game's a little bit different last night. But needless to say, the ratings have been sky high, absolutely sky high for college football. We talk about portal. We talk about the problems with what's happening. All it does is it's gained interest in the college sport. I hate to say it, but it's true. That's exactly what has happened. And then on top of that, you have Miami and Ole Miss, and of course the Ole Miss story. And by the way, I heard Lane Kiffin did not run out on his team, by the way. Anybody that knows anything about college football and the current landscape knows that coaches leave, players leave. Players literally give the middle finger to coaches. Coaches do it to players. It's part of it. This is what's going on in the college game now. All's fair in love and war. It sucks. It's not right. But guess what? It's life. You deal with it. And by the way, Lane Kiffin wanted to coach his team through the end of the season. And you don't wait till the end of the season anymore to do all the coaching stuff. Universities don't. And if you wait, somebody else isn't. So it's not Lane Kiffin's fault that he didn't want to be there anymore. He's not giving up on his players and all this other nonsense that people with grudges and axes to grind say. The bottom line is this. You don't like it, change the rules. But the rules are the rules. So many other things in life that we have to deal with that don't seem fair. So Lane Kiffin said, I want to coach. I'll coach through. LSU is going to let me coach through my Ole Miss players. The player council voted 9-3. They wanted Lane Kiffin and his staff to stay. And then the people with little attitudes at Ole Miss and the athletic director and access to grind, my pride is hurt, said no. Okay, if you had Lane Kiffin coaching, you win last night. Sorry, you do. You do. You win. But in the end, Ole Miss had a wonderful season. Now we'll find out who they can be with this new coach, Pete Golding. Wish him the best. And we'll find out what LSU does. So that's where we are. That's what's happening. Just a wonderful college football game. Loved it. Every second of it last night. It was just so good. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to bed at halftime because I get up early for the show. And of course, the college game got me. I couldn't get away from it. I don't know about you guys, if anybody stayed up late to watch or not, but a lot of fun to watch. And of course, congrats to Miami. They'll be playing in the national championship game next week. Certainly wish them the best. They're a fun team to watch too. They've got some athletes. They got a line. They look like they can certainly do some damage in the final against Indiana. I mean, if you're going to play with Indiana or Oregon, you got to have a good offensive and defensive line. And that's what they have. The other thing too, right now, I talk about the excitement that's happening right now when it comes to college football and what Indiana plays tonight. All right. So you've got Indiana tonight and Oregon, 6:30. Matt, I know it's a Friday night. It's a prime time. They did it on purpose, put it on a Friday night because Indiana has become the national darlings. They really have. You're talking about their last game when Indiana was playing Alabama. 8 million more views than the NBA final game last year. So not only is the NFL the dominant sport, as I've talked about before, one of the greatest lines when Howie Long was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. He said, America's pastime is baseball. No doubt about it. It's our pastime. But America's passion is football. And you see it with the ratings. It's football. It's not baseball, it's football. It doesn't mean it's not a hit on baseball or basketball. It is what it is. So the numbers, I should have said this last week. So Indiana and Oregon play tonight at 6:30. I can only imagine what the numbers are going to be for that game. But the Rose Bowl between Indiana and Alabama last week set the record for the most watched game of the college football playoff since we've had it at 23.9 million views. I mean, let's say 24 million. That is insane. And that was 8 million more views than Game 7 of the NBA Finals this last year. I mean, it makes you think that the NBA is, I don't want to say on life support, but even college foot. So now it's the NFL, number one, college football, number two, NBA, Major League Baseball, somewhere back. And then, of course, hockey. But that is huge. And I'll be curious to see what the ratings were for last night's game, just because it was so good. And there were new teams. You had Ole Miss and Miami, two new teams. And then now you get Indiana, a newcomer to the scene the last 2 years. And then Oregon, they've been around. But now we get that tonight. So 6:30 tonight. That should be very, very, very interesting when you look at that. The other thing that I was looking at some of the games from last weekend, when you look at ratings and what we're watching, 23.9 million for the game with Alabama and Indiana. Last week, you had 19 million viewers, and it peaked at 21.6 with Miami and Ohio State. That was up 37% from last year's game. Unfreaking believable. The Sugar Bowl last weekend between Ole Miss and Georgia, 18.7 million viewers. It peaked at 21 million. And then Oregon and Texas Tech last week, 16 million viewers. I mean, the college football scene, we've got our issues with the playoff. Could they add more teams? Maybe. Could they go to 16? But I'm telling you right now, they're making money. because those ratings are sky high. Absolutely insane right now when you look at the numbers and what you're starting to see. And you know what? Credit college football for what they've done. Yes, there are issues, but no, people are not turning away. They're not. And in a weird, ironic twist of fate, as much as I and many others do not like what is happening or what has happened to the college football game, it's like that car wreck. You can't turn your neck. I mean, you can't turn your head. You got rubberneck. You're still looking at it. You are. You're watching. You're waiting to see what's going to happen next. And it's brought intrigue and interest to the college game that we've never seen before. It has. Tell me I'm wrong and tell me why I'm wrong, because right now it's insane to me what's happening. I'm like, holy freaking moly. Look at what's going on. So Indiana tonight with Oregon, the Hoosiers 3.5-point favorites in that game. I don't know what to think. I would have picked Miami last night, minus the 3.5. And isn't that interesting too, if you're betting? What the spread was last night? The spread, Miami was minus 3.5. Miami won by 4. There you go. 31-27. Just crazy from that standpoint of where you're going. So Miami appears to be back. There's some terrific athletes. They'll have to have a new quarterback next year. And by the way, credit to Carson Beck as well. He looked really good, former Georgia quarterback. So more power to him and what's happening from that scene. But the college football scene right now is absolutely insane. The advertising dollars for watching. And I'll be curious to see if last night's game is any higher. And then, of course, we'll get the ratings next week for what we see with Indiana, Oregon tonight, 6:30. Kickoff will probably be about 6:45 on a Friday evening. Yeah, I bet that's going to be a big deal. Big deal when it comes to those ratings. By the way, we're Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Casual Friday. Jump in on the show on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Let us know what's happening throughout the St. Louis area. It doesn't have to be sports, business, entertainment, food, drink, events, concerts, whatever. Want to promote a bar, a charity, a goodwill for somebody. That's what we do from the standpoint. Of course, let us know if you have interview ideas. That's something that we want to get done as well. And from that standpoint, we also have a situation where we'll promote anything, not only on our show, but the other shows as well. If you want to advertise, you can let us know about that as well. So we're here rocking and rolling as we do. We are your Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com Monday through Friday from that standpoint. Okay, so you got that game tonight coming up. We'll get more into this in the next break too, but the Blues are in action tonight. They have a game, later game. I think it's 8 o'clock. They're at Utah. So that'll be fun to see what's happening there. We'll preview the NFL weekend. Lots of games. 2 on Saturday. What we got? Well, I know we've got 2 on Saturday. I was trying to figure out and see again how many we had on Sunday. Just a lot of freaking games. Lots of games for the weekend. Gotta love it. Yeah, you've got Rams at Carolina tomorrow, Green Bay at Chicago, then Sunday, Buffalo at Jacksonville, San Francisco at Philadelphia, the Chargers at the Patriots, and then a Monday night game, which are the Steelers hosting the Texans. So we can promote that, get into that if you want to as well. The figure skating championships going on in St. Louis as well. There's still tickets available. Great crowds, but there are still tickets if people are interested from that standpoint. Mizzou basketball in action tomorrow. We can get that. They're at Ole Miss. A chance to go 3-0, and they're a slight favorite in that game. SLU also in action. They're rolling. They're starting to get a lot of praise as well when it comes to VCU sports beats writers. And if you look at what they're writing about SLU, they're saying, yeah, this is a tournament team. So when your opponents are starting to say that teams that you beat, you're like, oh, okay, they are legit. Now their conference, they like 10 may only get one into the tournament, which is their champion. But who knows? I mean, if SLU weren't to win, maybe they're so good that they could still get in. They're 14-1. They're going to be 15-1 tomorrow. They play at LaSalle. LaSalle's only 5-11. And if you're SLU, you just got to continue to win. Win, win, win. And because the games that are coming up, are just, they're just not that difficult right now. So anyway, we'll hear from SLU's head coach, did media session yesterday, Josh Schurz, about what they have coming up from that standpoint. Also, former St. Louis High superstar football player, Kyron Williams from Vianney, went to Notre Dame, was a star there. Now a darn good running back with the Rams, was back in town giving away to a nonprofit. We'll have that story. Anheuser-Busch Eagle coming to sit on top of a building. We'll get into that as well. So lots of things still here on a Friday morning, and anything else that you guys want to jump in and talk about, let us know. Love to get that in. You guys are here once again, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. YouTube, Facebook, and X. Love to see you guys there commenting, letting us know what you got going on. Plus, you can also jump in on the show. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us. Cam Jansen, the former Blue, St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster, Jim the Cat Hayes, from 8 to 10. And then we've got our high school football show today, the GSV, or it's not a football show, but the high school show, Basketball Now. Sure, they'll be talking about the national acclaim now that Principia is getting as the second-ranked team in America out of St. Louis from a high school basketball standpoint. Plus others, tournaments going on this weekend. Lots going on. We're trying to get the vibe here. Everything St. Louis. If you know the scene, let us know, something to promote. That's what we do here. Producer Rise here. I'm Vic Faust. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at luinfo.com. We'll come back and set the stage for some of those other things going on this weekend right after this. Hey guys, welcome back into the show here. Arch City Now. Time is 6:35 on a Friday. It is January 9th. We've been blessed with some amazing weather this week. Today it's getting a little bit colder. It was windy this morning. The winds are supposed to die down as you get out for your Friday morning commute, but the temperature is a little bit cooler, not as nice as we've had, 50s. The weekend going to be a little colder, but that's all right. We're on borrowed time, especially after what we got this week. So grateful from that standpoint throughout the St. Louis area. Could be a whole lot worse. We welcome you in to Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Ryan alongside as well. On this January 9th, as we head into the weekend, what's going on? What are the plans? Like, subscribe, share our show, let people know what we got going on. Appreciate you guys jumping in and letting us know as well in regards to what's happening, what's going on. And it is interesting because there are a lot of things that are going on. And you can jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure that we're caught up on everything you have going on with you in your life from the St. Louis area. If you want certain interviews, let us know. Events, whatever's going on, we want to do it for you. We're here for you. And of course, we'll get you caught up from that standpoint. We'll talk about the big game from last night. You want to jump on that? College football, we did a lot of focus on that. The ratings when it came to Miami beating Ole Miss last night, 31-27. Ironically, they were 3.5-point favorites, and they won by 4 last night. So if you took Miami, you're happy as can be today, that's for sure. If you didn't, so be it. But nice job from Ole Miss. They played very well. Such a terrific college football game last night. Certainly hope we get it tonight from Indiana and Oregon. I can't imagine it not being that way. The first time they played earlier in the year, just a terrific game that went right down to the end as well. So we'll see what happens from that standpoint as well. So we're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us from 8 to 10 o'clock each day as well. If you guys are looking for anything to do over the weekend, or if you guys know of things that are going on, keep us posted. Let us know. We continue to promote all those things that are going on. Tonight, we got the Blues in action. We talked about the college football side. Indiana, Oregon play at 6:30 tonight, 6:45, something like that. But the Blues are back in action tonight, 8 o'clock at Utah. So the Blues in the midst of a 3-game road trip. And if they're not careful, I mean, they could lose all 3. Now, we're certainly hoping that things change. Obviously, tonight. They lost their last game with the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are a point above them in the division. But now you've got a situation tonight where they're playing at Utah, who's got a better record. And then on Saturday night, tomorrow night, they've got Vegas, who's one of the best teams in the league. You just won 2 at home. The last thing you want to do is go on the road and something bad happens. These are issues that can't happen tonight. We'll find out who's going to be in goal. Bennington played the last game. And of course, more came out yesterday after our initial. We're early. We're first show in the morning. I guess the reason why Jordan Bennington didn't come over after Jim Montgomery called him to the bench was the fact that Hofer, the backup, Joe Hofer, wasn't ready to go. And the whole situation was just bizarre. Allegedly, if Jordan Bennington goes to the bench and a goalie isn't ready, it could be a penalty. I don't know. The video cameras showing Joel Hofer down in the tunnel did not look good. It's a weird configuration set up on how you have to sit the bench and so forth. There was speculation that Hofer was hiding intentionally. Not necessarily the case. So the whole situation appears less juicy, which is good. A very, very good thing. there's not a lot of room on that bench. That's what I was talking about too. So the bottom line is Bennington has not been himself, and his defense has not helped him. Those are just facts. We haven't seen him play his best hockey, but then again, it's not at the most important time of the year. And we have seen that happen with Jordan. And yeah. So anyway, it is what it is from that standpoint. The Blues in action tonight. They just really need to come out and play with passion. End speculation, end controversy. The problem is you got two very good teams now left on this road trip. And while things are bunched at the bottom of the conference when it comes to playoff spots, I mean, you're still 2 games under 500, and you don't want to go 4 games under 500. You got two very good teams. So somehow, some way, they got to find a way to come out and play their best hockey tonight. Leave the rest of these things alone. They've been better this year. They've been pretty decent on the road. They weren't in their last game, obviously. But I don't know, man. It just we don't want to see that happening right now with this team. That was one of the things that we talked about this year. The Blues having to give it. I mean, we deserve and want better play when it comes to our St. Louis sports. At least right now, Mizzou basketball has turned the corner. At least if they beat Ole Miss tomorrow and they're a slight favorite, they start the year 3-0 in the SEC. That's a big deal. That's a very, very big deal. Then you've got SLU, 14-1. They're going to go destroy LaSalle tomorrow to be 15-1. And when they do that, people are starting to look at them in a tournament team, even if they don't win their conference. But if you're a good team, an NCAA tournament worthy team in the Atlantic 10, you should do that. You should be able to do that. And Josh Scherz, I mean, they've got SLU basketball running on all cylinders right now. They're deep, they're talented, it's fun to watch. They certainly know offense. I mean, they have a very good offensive team. I mean, we've heard Dennis Gates over at Missouri get criticized for not really running an offense and just letting athletes run around. SLU's a fun team to watch. I really do like watching them play. I mean, that's a whole lot of fun to watch. That's for sure. So SLU's looking pretty good these days. Gelling as a team and making sure that they're as good as they can possibly be. And the other thing from that standpoint is they're not going to be playing any other top-notch teams besides teams in their conference. They're at conference play right now. And they are so good, the SLU team, and so deep. I don't want to put too high of expectations on them, but it's something to be proud about in St. Louis. Yeah, you can watch your Missouri Tigers. You can watch SLU Billikens. You can like them both. You can. They're two teams from Missouri. Would love both of them in the NCAA tournament. And my, oh my, how things have switched when it comes from a Missouri standpoint with their 2 wins to start conference. That's fun. And those are the things that we need to see. Those are the things that we like to see that are happening. Because I'm looking at SLU's schedule coming down the stretch here. I mean, I don't know why they can't. And I know that you play rivals and rivals can get the best of you. But when you look at the other teams in their conference and who they've played and scores, why can't SLU? Seriously, and I know it sounds crazy. I know Dayton's good. I get it. But they're better. They're better. They are better. And I know it's not easy playing at Dayton, and they'll play at Dayton in February. But this is a very good basketball team that could really dominate this conference. They absolutely could dominate this conference. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to see. And credit to this team. Now, I know, kind of like we talk about the college football portal, teams can change from year to year. Not as much as okay. Thanks, Rye. I was going to get some, yeah. So, and we'll hear from Coach Schurz a little bit later in the show as well, when it comes to what's happening on this team and what's going on with moving forward. So, anyway, we are Arch City Now. Glad you're with us. Go Billikens. Go Tigers tomorrow. Billikens a huge favorite. Mizzou a slight favorite. And we'll see where all that goes. Okay. Speaking of SLU, how about this for a story? I thought this was pretty interesting too. Especially when you look, well, okay, never mind. We'll go to, we got it. Thank you, producer Rye. Josh Schurz did a media session talking about his team and how good they are and where they're trying to be. So before we move on, I wanted you to hear from Josh Schurz, because we don't hear from him a ton, and how good the SLU basketball team is and where they are going from that standpoint.
I think, I never in practice try to combine competition with teaching. I think you're doing one or the other. Early in our practices, we teach a lot. Whether it's walkthrough or when we get out here to start, we try to build their habits, and then we try to take it and we try to play and compete and apply it. And then we come back, we watch the film of what we did, and we try to teach them through the film, and then we try to come back out here and teach it again and then apply it. And we try to build on that every single day. There's a compounding effect. I was equated to like watching grass grow. You go home and your grass, you don't see it every day, and then all of a sudden a couple weeks later you're like, oh my God, you need to get the lawn cut, and you didn't see it as incremental over time, day by day, but that compounding adds up, and that's kind of the way we approach this with our guys. Is we want to teach, and then we want that to be a segment where they're not worried about competing, they're worried about learning what we're trying to do. And then we want to go out and want to compete and try to apply that as best we can, knowing that we're going to film it and there's going to be some good, some bad. We'll come back, learn from it, and then try to get better the next day.
I love watching his team play offense. And I believe if you look at what he's done over the years, even at Indiana State, top-notch coach, top-notch efficiency, top-notch scoring, no different at SLU. We'll see how he's able to work with the portal and bringing players in from a recruiting standpoint as well. I mean, but when you have Kellen Thames coming off the bench in the last game, scored 18 points in a big game, things are looking pretty good for SLU from that standpoint. Schurz is also just a likable guy. I mean, there's a lot of times where you'll deal with coaches and, whether they're good guys, bad guy, whatever. It just, sometimes it's just, coaches can make it a whole lot easier to work with them and deal with them. And he's been pretty good, very good from that standpoint. So we certainly continue to wish SLU the best and what could be a really, really good year. Let's get Mizzou and SLU in the NCAA tournament. Would certainly love to see that. That's for sure. Hey, we talk about SLU. We talk about some of those things that are happening. I thought this was interesting too. When you look at what's happening when it comes to their arena and so forth in the name. But it is interesting now when you see what's happening. Richard Chaffetz, the prominent American businessman and philanthropist from CompSci Corporation, world's largest provider of employee assistance programs, and what he's got going on now. Very interesting to see what's happening there, because now you're talking about him getting involved and having part of an ownership right now when it comes to looks like Major League Baseball. So Richard Chaffetz, I think that was, with Major League Baseball. I had the note here. I was going through that. I just found it very interesting to see what you have going on now from that standpoint with San Francisco Giants ownership. just, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but you get a guy, a prominent St. Louis business leader, who's now going to be a part of, he's acquired an ownership group, an interest to become a partner in the Giants organization. It's also interesting because now you got Tony Vitello as their manager, who has St. Louis ties as well. So now we've got the San Francisco St. Louis Giants, so to speak. St. Louis guys going to make San Francisco great again. So Chaffetz is a St. Louis U alum, of course. He's also owner of the St. Louis Shock, a Major League Pickleball team. If you didn't know that, I had no idea. No idea. But if you haven't played pickleball, awesome time as well. So he got into that, the St. Louis Shock. Didn't know much about the Shock. There you go. Pickleball, St. Louis Shock, rocking and rolling from that standpoint. So congrats to Richard Chaffetz and what he's got going on with that ownership group that's coming up. What about this from a news headline as well? You're going to see a towering symbol from Anheuser-Busch history coming to St. Louis. So what you're going to see is a historic neon lit eagle. It's an eagle sign. So it long stood atop the company's Newark, New Jersey brewery. It's going to be coming back to St. Louis. It's the old original logo. They said it's a large scale illuminating sign. It's going to be moved from Newark to the company's St. Louis headquarters, where it's going to be preserved and displayed to the public. So the old iconic eagle on top of the A, with a white background. Gotta love it. They said, quote, the iconic Anheuser-Busch sign atop the Newark brewery is an important piece of our company's history, and we plan to relocate it to our hometown of St. Louis, where it would be preserved and enjoyed for visitors for years to come. That will be happening fairly soon. Let's see here where they put it. Let's see. They said last month, Anheuser-Busch confirmed plans to close or sell breweries in California, New Hampshire, New Jersey. So that included selling the Newark plant to the Goodman Group and closing a facility sometime in 2026. And then they said that they were part of a broader strategy to optimize production. So the massive AB Eagle sign, which had stood since 2001, was removed yesterday from Newark skyline. And then it'll be on its way to St. Louis. 15 tons, massive, 2,000 incandescent bulbs. It was once recognized by Guinness's World Records as the largest animated animal neon sign. So it's coming back to St. Louis. And of course, you'll be able to see that on top of their flagship brewery. So it'd be good to get that back in town. By the way, this is Art City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Cam Jansen, Jim the Cat Hayes follow us every day from 8 to 10 o'clock with Hot Take Central 2.0. On Fridays, we have our high school sports show. Several entities from that, the GSV High School Sports Show. And then from 11 to 1, of course, it's Charlie Tuna and the Posse. We're here Monday through Friday. Glad you guys are with us. What are your plans for the weekend? Jump in, talk to us, keep us posted, anything that you want to promote. Any charitable events that are going on, people doing well. This is about St. Louis. It's about promoting what we have in the area, what's going on in town. And of course, we love it when you jump in with us as well from that standpoint. By the way, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships are going on as well. Got to love that at Enterprise. And so far, so good. What we've seen so far has been outstanding. You're talking about the best. They haven't gotten to the Olympics yet. The best figure skating team as a collective country in the world. The United States, #1 right now. They're in St. Louis. Crowds have been great. They expected about 50 to 60,000 people here this week. The organizers did, at least from that standpoint. They've got a lot of skating going on today. A lot of those positions are still up for grabs. But the key players, both on the men's side and the women's side, are doing what they were expected to be doing. But you're talking about pairs free skate starting at 2:00 today. There's still tickets available at Enterprise. Get down there and watch it. I've been talking all week about how incredible these athletes are. I mean, TV doesn't do it justice. It doesn't. When you see people do what they're doing on skates, talk to some of the hockey players and what they do on the ice, and then ask them what these figure skaters do in regards to the jumping, the precision, the strength, because we all know that skating is one of the most, and skating at a high level, like NHL players do, and these figure skaters and dancers. Ask them how difficult it is. Blades on ice. I mean, none of us have any idea how difficult that is until you're actually doing it at that level. But 2 p.m. today is when they start. Pairs free skate. They got the women's free skate group today. That goes on all day long through it's the final pairing, the session tonight at 8 p.m. as well. Also, yeah, you've got, so that's a lot of skating for one day. That's for sure. Tons of skating. And by the way, NBC is carrying it tonight. They start to carry the afternoon session and the evening session. NBC is what will be carrying it. You can live stream it on Peacock as well. So lots of action that you can watch from that standpoint. You've still got some people who are dominating as they were supposed to be dominating. Amber Glenn, Alyssa Liu, Isabella Vito, all in the running. They sit at the top of the women's standings, all Olympic hopefuls, dominant team on the men's side as well. They're doing what they need to do. Wow. He was Ilya Malonen. He's dominating. The quad god, as they call him. 6:56 right now on this Friday morning, January 9th. Jump in the show on X, Facebook, YouTube. Let us know what's happening for the weekend from that standpoint. When we come back, we'll talk about that college football game last night. We'll set the stage for the weekend. When it comes to NFL plans for the weekend, if you guys have any concerts that you're going to, plans, parties, whatever, what's happening in the Lou, that's what we try to do to get that vibe of everything that's happening here. Of course, college basketball tomorrow as well for you to watch. And then, of course, the Blues also in action tonight. We'll get into all that. We'll cover it when we come back, plus anything else in hour number 2. This is Arch City Now. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. We'll be back with more of the show right after this. We are your Lou information station, and we are live and on demand, louinfo.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Good morning. Happy Friday. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Rye alongside as well today. 7:05 is the time. We're getting you set for the weekend here throughout the St. Louis area. Love it when you guys jump in on the show and keep us posted on everything that's going on. We're here for another hour, 6 to 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, all things St. Louis all the time. Plus the other national stories making headlines, whatever you guys want to talk about. We try to bring that in from your standpoint as well. A couple other headlines, news updates that we have going on. It is interesting. You see some of these things that are going down. Wildwood approved a $57.5 million mixed-use development site for 2027. You see more and more of those popping up throughout the entire area. So interesting from that standpoint. You can check that out. Also, St. Louis City SC looking for national anthem singers for the 2026 season. Ryan, can you sing? Producer Rye says, hell no, I don't sing. So if you know anybody, give them a call. It could be a fun thing to do. You want to go out there and sing in front of people? Good luck. If that's your deal, good luck. Have at it. Have fun. Yeah, go to it. All right. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. Also, hey, shout out to Kyren Williams, the former Vianney star, the former Notre Dame star, and now current LA Rams star, in regards to what he just did recently. So Kyren gave the St. Louis Boys and Girls Club, the Greater St. Louis Boys and Girls Club, a $25,000 donation. So that's going to help support 15,000 young people. That's how many people the Boys and Girls Club supports, 15,000 people across the region. So Kyren gave the money, and it's interesting too, because his recognition comes as he is the Rams Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nominee. If you didn't know what that was, it's one of the NFL's most prestigious honors celebrating community service. Know Kyren, met him a few times, know his dad, have hung out with his dad. Glad to see him having success in LA. Obviously, dominated high school, dominated college, and now he is a top-notch running back when healthy for the LA Rams from that standpoint. So here's what happens. As part of the award, each nominee is given an opportunity to select a charity to receive a foundation grant. So Kyren chose the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis as an organization connected to his roots. Brandon Williams, by the way, is the CEO and president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis. And he said the choice speaks volumes about Kyren's character. I couldn't agree anymore. Glad to see Kyren doing what he could do, choosing that group. I mean, there's so many good groups he could choose. Sometimes you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because there's so many worthy organizations. But the money's also going to help with repairs to their facility that they sustained during that May 16th tornado. And, it's just a really, really good deal and a positive deal. And of course, we love to promote the positive. And of course, the people from here, we're always talking about the former St. Louisans doing what they're doing all over the area, all over the country, and especially giving back. By the way, the overall NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, that's going to be announced February 5th. So hopefully Kyren finishes strong in that standpoint. If he doesn't, he's still helping out people in the St. Louis area, which is a big, big, big deal. So glad to see that for Kyren. By the way, with Kyren, when it comes to what's happening on the gridiron, the Rams have a big game coming up, obviously. They're getting set for the playoffs tomorrow. They have the first game, 3:30 tomorrow. Rams 12-5, playing at Carolina 8-9. Go figure. Carolina, the division winner, at 8-9. So the Rams have to go play there. Kyren's been battling an injury, but he is off the injured reserve list. So he's expected to play in that game for the Rams against Carolina tomorrow. So go get him, Kyren. If you're a Rams fan or not, it's all, you can still root for Kyren to do well when it comes to that standpoint. Also tomorrow, besides the Rams and Carolina, which is an interesting game because, I mean, I just think back to that game. They played earlier in the year. Carolina beat them, which was just bizarre. Just bizarre. Carolina's also 5-3 at home. The line in that game, -10. The Rams are 10-point favorites at Carolina. I'm not touching that one. I am not touching that game. Then the other game tomorrow night, very interesting. Here we go, round 3, Packers at the Bears. And that's going to be a prime game. That game's on prime tomorrow. The first game tomorrow is on Fox. And then tomorrow night, you have to watch on Prime. So that's a 7 p.m. game. 9-7 Green Bay at 11-6 Chicago. Green Bay had Chicago beat in their last game in Chicago, and the Bears came back. By the way, in this game tomorrow, you're looking at are you kidding me? The Packers, do they have that there? About a 1.5 favorite? Yeah, the Packers at the Bears, a 1.5 favorite. I don't know. That's an interesting one from my standpoint. We talk about the NFL, those things that are going on. But then, of course, tomorrow, those are the 2 games that they have. And then, of course, Sunday, lots of action. Packed. The Bills at Jacksonville in the first game on CBS. The second game, San Francisco at the Eagles, at the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the 3:30 game. Sunday night, that would be the 7 o'clock game on NBC. Chargers at Patriots. And then Monday night, Pittsburgh hosting Houston. So interesting games there. By the way, the Buffalo-Jacksonville game, this is another interesting one. Buffalo's 12-5. Jacksonville's 13-4. Jacksonville is playing at home, and they're playing as well as anybody in the league. And there are analysts. There are football analysts who believe Jacksonville is going to win that game. The Bills are the favored team on the road by 1.5. But Jacksonville is a very good team playing their best football of the year right now. So don't look past Jacksonville when it comes to that matchup and what could happen. And then, of course, we'll see. A lot of people have their different teams, their different matchups. And then, of course, lots of action for Sunday. We won't get into all of the intricacies of what's happening over there, but my gosh, look forward to that. What a weekend of sports that we have from that standpoint. Okay. Tonight, talking football, you have Indiana and Oregon. And that comes on the heels of last night's game. That's why I only had 4 hours of sleep, I think, something like that. 4 or 5 hours, maybe. Watching, just great is thrown out there as a term, maybe used too much, but it was a great football game last night between Ole Miss and Miami. Congrats to both teams. The college football playoff got it right with teams. Miami should have been there. They've proved it. Alabama should have been there. They won their first round game, proving that they should have been there. The only 2 teams that should have been in the college football playoff this year, you already know who they were. They should not have been there. James Madison and Tulane. Hopefully the college football playoff figures it out, puts 16 teams in, or stops this group of 5 BS, because it doesn't work. They didn't belong on the field, and Notre Dame could have been in, and I'm not a Notre Dame fan, and then nobody would have been complaining. Then you could have had Texas A&M Texas in, whose resume and the teams that they beat were far better than the teams that were in. So whatever the case, the college football playoff, it's working, and the ratings are there. And for all of the problems with the college football portal, and you hear it, whether you know a lot about sports or not, and the millions of dollars being paid to freaking college football players, even before they do anything to transfer from school to school, that might make you sick to your stomach. It's working because America loves football. They love the action. They love the betting. When it comes to college, they love the association with schools. And if they didn't, they wouldn't have sky high ratings. There's no doubt football is America's passion. Nothing has changed. And it only appears to be getting more. I mean, you guys may care, you may not care. But the amount of money that's being thrown around right now with TV contracts and deals and all these things, unfreaking believable. So last night in this game with Ole Miss and Miami, Ole Miss literally goes down the field, takes the lead with a touchdown. It appears as if they're going to win, or Carson Beck, who is the Miami quarterback, is going to have to bring Miami all the way down the field, which is what he did. And Miami scored the go-ahead touchdown with 18 seconds left, something from that standpoint. Then Ole Miss, in 2 plays, gets all the way down to about the 30-yard line of Miami and sets up a game finale where Chambliss, their quarterback, literally throws the ball into the end zone, and there's a chance to catch it to win the game. Comes down to the last play of the game. It's incomplete. Miami wins. They're moving on to the NCAA championship game. So much fun to watch. Miami out of nowhere, the 10 seed in the college football playoff, who allegedly didn't even get into the, quote, playoff until the final week of the season, now proving that they should have been there all along. Carson Beck's playing really good football. Their O-line and D-line are good, and they have some athletes. Running back, receiver, defensive lineman. We'll see how they shape up. I know they had some injuries last night, but they're going. They've made it. Congrats to Miami. But there was an interesting situation that happened when it came to that game because of what happened. You never want to look back at one call and go, oh, that should have been this call, or it should have been this, or it should have been that. But unfortunately, we had one of those plays last night. It was the last play of the game. And I really, and I don't care if you're man, woman, boy, girl, whatever. If you like sports, you don't want to see any controversy. And I don't care if it's soccer, volleyball, softball, football. You just don't want to see a controversial call being played. And there was one last night. There was the last play of the game. And you hear this a lot where, oh, it's a different type. It's a different time of the game, or it needs to be called differently. Really? No, it doesn't. Why? Why did the rules change because a circumstance is different in the game? No, the rules are the rules, and you should follow them all the time. Sometimes you hear of officials, quote, swallowing a whistle, meaning they won't call something because it's a final play in basketball and football, whatever. But we had one of those last night. And it was a pass interference non-call on the final play of the game. Now, there's absolutely no doubt a Miami defensive back had his hands all over a receiver, and 9 out of 10 times the play is called. It is. It's pass interference. Now, if you continue to look at it over and over again, you're like, well, the offensive player had his hands on the defensive player too. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, that's called pass interference. And it would have given Ole Miss a chance to win the game on a final play. You be the judge. Let's take a look at the video from last night. Is it a good non-call? I don't care. Once again, I'm not invested in this game. I don't care. There are games I've been invested in for a variety of reasons. This game last night was not one of them, as we show you the play right now, and you see what's happening. The receiver and the defensive back, I mean, that's a defensive back. He's pulling him to the ground. That's a penalty, in my opinion. Once again, I don't have anything. I mean, he gets thrown to the ground. If I'm an Ole Miss fan today, I am super, super upset. Not that they would have won the game on another play, but that they actually had a chance to catch that pass, and it should have been a touchdown. My humble opinion, 100%, that is a penalty from what we just saw. You saw the video. But too many times officials swallow their, we're just going to let them play. Let them play. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, we're going to change it. We're just going to let them play. Is that in a rule book? Is that in a rule book? Oh, let them play. If you know anything about football, college football, and I do, you don't just quote, let them play. You have to call the rules, because if I'm a defensive back, I'm going to take every advantage I possibly can to get an advantage. And he got an advantage. And don't think for a second that defensive player didn't think that he wouldn't be able to get away with something. And you see it a lot on Hail Marys. So many times, watch Hail Marys. Receivers are grabbed, clutched, thrown to the ground before balls are even gotten there, that they should be called pass interference. And they're not, because you have officials who cower in the biggest of moments. And, well, I'm just going to sit back here. I don't want to call a penalty that may change the game. If they did the penalty, you have to call it. That's what I don't get. Thanks, producer Rye, for getting that in there. Makes absolutely no sense to me, but it happened. That's exactly what happened last night. Ole Miss, in my humble opinion, did not get the benefit of the call, but that's not taking anything away from Miami. They did what they had to do. They went down the field. They scored a touchdown with 18 seconds left. Carson Beck proving a lot of naysayers wrong. He is good enough to get his team to the national title. Are they good enough to win? I don't know. I want to see the injury report on some of those defensive players before we see. And then that sets up what we have tonight. Wow, wow, wow. Can't wait to watch tonight's game. Indiana, number 1, against Oregon, number 5. Indiana's a 3.5-point favorite. They're the new darlings, and why not? It's so easy to like Curt Cignetti. It's so easy to like this Hoosier football team, who, by the way, they did it a different way, but it doesn't mean they were not as good as players. I don't look at them as a, quote, Cinderella story, because I know from being involved in the college football game for over 30 years, well over 30 years, just because you don't have 3-star, 4-star, 5-star next to your name coming out of high school does not mean that you're not a damn good football player. College football coaches a lot of times can be lazy. I'm telling you, they are. Look at recruiting. A kid, boy or girl, in any sport who may be of quality to play Division I level, they get an offer. Oh, and then all of a sudden, all these other schools start to jump in and call. Like, oh, well, look what they did. They offered. There must be something there. Why didn't you offer first? There is that mentality. It's laziness. Well, Cignetti's not a lazy guy. I mean, he sits. I mean, there are stories about him sitting in his office watching red zone offense, for people who don't know, to dumb it down, 20-yard line and in, from teams that have no bearing on his game, coaches that he will not face, coaches that did not coach on teams that played in 2007, just so that he could be ready, preparing for the moment. No such thing as luck. It's when hard work and opportunity meet. I do believe it. I don't care if it sounds like a pun and whatever. It is true. Cignetti watching 2007 red zone offense between two teams that have no bearing on his upcoming game, just because he wants to be the best. And by the way, his red zone offense last year at Indiana was number 1 in the country. Those are the things that I'm talking about. He's prepared, easy to like. His team's easy to like. No 4 or 5-star kids starting on his team. Guys that got to college, busted their butt, worked hard, became very good football players, and he put them all together in a collective unit. And now they're about ready to take over college football. If they get past Oregon tonight, and if I'm Indiana, the one team in the entire college football playoff that I would not want to see before the national championship game is Oregon. They played each other once already. It was a tight game all the way down to the end. Indiana came away with the win at Oregon. They looked very good. And I don't see how it's not going to be a tight game again. Indiana's rolling. They're smart. They're disciplined. Is Oregon capable of beating Indiana? You better believe it. They're 3.5-point underdogs. 100% they are. But I don't. Who wants to bet against Indiana after what they've done to everybody, including Ohio State, and then absolutely abusing Alabama down the stretch in that game? I wouldn't want to be there. I can tell you that much. But anyway, they're America's heartthrobs. And if you didn't see that game with Alabama, it drew 28 over 28 million people. It's insane. Over 8 million more people for that college football game than game 7 of the NBA finals. That's right. That's what I said. Football in the NFL is number 1. Number 2 is college football. Football is America's passion. It's only gaining strength, believe it or not. And the bowls, all the college football playoff bowls, domination when it comes to the 15 to 21 million people watching per game. It's crazy. It's dominating. So we can be pissed off about the portal and what's happening and it's not right. But guess what? All it's done is gain interest. It's drawn interest. You have teams that are now putting together super teams if they have the money to do so, the recruiting prowess to do so. But those numbers are crazy. And that was for the Rose Bowl. What do you think it's going to be tonight on a Friday night primetime game, kicking off at about 6:45? I think the telecast 6:30, maybe 6:45. Indiana, Oregon. And I don't see any way how this game is not a tight game. Last night, we didn't know exactly what to expect, and it was a terrific college football game. But now you have two very good staffs, very good teams, two very good quarterbacks. Moore from Oregon, the quarterback, and Mendoza from Indiana. They could be number 1, number 2 in the NFL draft when it comes to quarterbacks. Not overall picks, but number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks taken. That's interesting. So I can't wait to watch tonight. I mean, fan or no fan. And we all know St. Louis area, there's a strong Indiana contingent here. There are. And if I'm an Indiana fan, I'm coming out of the woodwork to support. I drive around St. Louis and I see Indiana school flags in yards now. Have you guys seen this? I have, depending on where I'm at. I'm like, I am not kidding. I've probably seen 7, 8 Indiana flags in the last like month and a half, like people flying their Indiana flags. There's a big, strong base in the St. Louis area at Indy. And why not enjoy it? More power to you. Love life. Enjoy it. If you're an Indiana fan, freaking dominate. Enjoy because and if you guys know of anybody, is anybody headed to the game? I'd be curious, the Indiana contingents that's there, because you just never know. I mean, when you get back, and Indiana's a fun team to watch. And, you know, they got their quirky, nerdy quarterback who's the Heisman winner, heart of gold, and an assassin on the field, taking care of business. I love it. It's great. It's just fun to watch. You know, I'm not pulling for Indiana. I'm not pulling for Oregon. I just want to see a terrific game tonight. And I think we're going to get it. So if you're an Indiana fan, enjoy it. If you're an Oregon fan, enjoy it. And by the way, Oregon, be watching for De'Aaron Hill. He's a running back, true freshman. If you haven't forgotten, played his high school football at Althoff Catholic in Belleville. Althoff, Althoff. Shout out from my former school. De'Aaron Jr., he is a phenomenal athlete, getting a lot of playing time, making a difference for Oregon. And he had a terrific touchdown in their win last game against Texas Tech. So terrific game, reasons to watch tonight. Good luck to them from that standpoint. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We are your Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. We come back. We'll break down. We got the Blues playing tonight as well. That's an 8:00 game. You got college basketball tomorrow, Mizzou and SLU. Look forward to what the Billikens are going to just demolish their opponent tomorrow. They're that good. They're that good. A couple of the other news headlines that we'll set there, and anything else that you guys want to talk about, just let us know. Jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube. That's where we are live. You can live stream us every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Producer Rise here. I'm Vic Faust. It's Art City Now. Quick break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Happy Friday morning. It is January 9th. Glad you were with us. Of course, we're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. You can stream us live on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Appreciate you guys jumping in from that standpoint. If you want to get involved in the show, just let us know, chime in, let us know where you're messaging from, whatever stories you want to get into, talk about, whatever the case may be. Of course, we try to promote things, all things St. Louis all the time, other national stories, making news. We do sports. We do some news headlines. Try not to make it too serious. Entertainment, food, drink, activities, what the water cooler talk is. That's what we're doing right here Monday through Friday. By the way, Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us on the daily, 8 to 10 o'clock. The former Blue, Cam Jansen, Cardinals broadcaster, Jim the Cat Hayes, follow us each day from 8 to 10. And on Fridays, switch it up a little bit. We have the St. Louis High School show, the sports show, the GSV show. John Huff and crew coming at you every day. And then, of course, every day, Monday through Friday, you have Charlie Tuna and the Posse. Appreciate you guys being with us. And by the way, for more information on all of our shows and the content that we have, you can go to luinfo.com. Once again, that is luinfo.com. Well, the sun's kind of up throughout the St. Louis area, kind of. It's going to be a little colder today. But man, what a great week of weather we've had. Kind of felt like spring. Really nice in the month of January, the first week of January. Temperatures in the 50s. It's going to be a colder weekend. But hey, then again, it's January. We're coming out of the first week of January into the second week. Things could be a whole lot worse. By the way, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships are going on in St. Louis right now. And from all the articles, I haven't been down to Enterprise. There are some tickets available. The skating today gets underway at like 2 as they skate through the weekend at Enterprise. All the stars are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Female or the women's short program record set. Phenomenal showing so far. Great skating. The Americans have what's considered to be the dominant team worldwide when it comes to the 4 disciplines. 3 world record holders. I did talk to a friend of mine who was there. She said it was amazing. I always say, check out the figure skaters, what they're doing. It's freaking amazing. Talk to hockey players. Seriously. And how difficult it is. First of all, to get on skates. You already know how difficult it is from a hockey standpoint to skate. The energy, the strength, the drive, the precision, blades on ice with a human body. You can't appreciate it until you see it in person of what it is. But the figure skaters are freaking phenomenal athletes, the men and the women. Kudos to them for representing the United States. They'll be figuring out that team over the next couple days. The coverage is on NBC tonight, by the way, as well. And if you're running into people from out of town, just promote the city. It's an opportunity for us to put St. Louis on a national stage, even worldwide stage for people coming in. It's been about 50, 60,000, I guess you would call figure skating fans coming into the city. We've talked about it. $20 million economic impact. We need more of it throughout the St. Louis area, but it's something that you can certainly get involved in if you want to go check out those things that are happening. So love it. Love seeing it. Love seeing what's happening all throughout the St. Louis area. That's throughout the weekend. And it's been nice to have the good weather that we've had as well with everything that we've had so far. So gotta love that. Also coming up tonight, the St. Louis Blues in action. And I'm a little worried. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm worried. Why are you worried? Well, because they're coming off a 7-3 loss. There was some controversy at the end of the game. The bench setup, Joel Hofer down the hall, wasn't ready to go in. Coach was going to take out Jordan Binnington after he gave up the 7th goal with like 5 minutes left. I don't think he should have. It created a controversy. Hofer wasn't ready. Binnington looked like he wasn't wanting to come out. If you listen to hockey rules, if he comes over and Hofer's not ready, it could be a penalty. But at the same point in time, you're already down 7-3. Would it have mattered? Just a lot of controversy, things that shouldn't have happened that did. And then you got your asses beat 7-3. You got beat on top of it. And it was the start of a 3-game road trip. Yeah, I'm a little concerned because you scored 0 goals and 5 power play chances, and you gave up 3 out of 4. And then you're going to Utah tonight, who's a good team, and they're good at home. And then tomorrow you're at Vegas, who's an even better team. So, and you're 2 games under 500. I know playoffs are still there for the team, and I hope they can get it together. I just worry. I don't know what I see that's very exciting right now, unless they're all just waiting. So the Blues in action tonight, 8:00 in Utah. Go Blues. See where they're going. I'm assuming Hofer's in net, and I'm assuming to take care of what they can. But you need some wins. I mean, you're talking about the Blackhawks, who are now a point ahead of you in the playoff race, and they've played one less game. So come on, St. Louis. Time to get those things in order. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's get it going as we should from that standpoint. So I don't know, man. It's frustrating to watch the team. It's frustrating. But then again, as I said yesterday, I wasn't all in on the Blues to start the year. As I've said from the beginning of the season, I thought they were a bit overhyped, or at least the expectations in our city were too high. I just wasn't on board. I'm looking at that roster going, not yet. Maybe a year away. And then, of course, they got hit with the injuries. And then Bennington, as great as he can be and has proven to be, hasn't been just his normal self yet. But not all is lost, which is a good thing when it comes to hockey. So let's go Blues. Win the next 2 nights. Come back home. And your 500 hockey team, 19-19. At 8. We'll see if it happens. I'm Vic Faust, producer Rise alongside 7:42 on a Friday morning. Not sure if you guys have plans for the weekend or not. If you do, promote it. If you're going anywhere, parties to promote, events, charities, you name it. Or if you just want to give shout outs to people, you can do that on X, Facebook, and YouTube. We try to get those things going. We try to make sure that's going on. And of course, promote how we can and whatever we can throughout the St. Louis area. I did see this come down. Some news with Nelly. We were talking about him a couple of weeks ago. As part of its year-end review, Billboard released its list of the highest grossing tours across several genres for 2025. And guess what? Nelly was listed among one of the top grossing earners for rap tours in 2025. That's right, man. Nelly's still got it going on. It's called the Where the Party At World Tour. It hit the ground running back in March of 2025. Went on until September. Had Ja Rule, the St. Lunatics, Eve, Jermaine Dupri, Fabulous. So the tour traveled across 3 continents to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Nelly's 2000 debut album, Country Grammar, which obviously was listed as one of the 10 hip hop albums to be certified diamond. That was pretty cool. So, Nelly just had his black and white ball, last month in the St. Louis area, raising a lot of money. And then now, it was the third highest grossing rap tour in 2025. $44.9 million across 51 shows, 471,000 tickets being sold. Guess it was number one? I guess Kendrick Lamar. Of course it was. And Kendrick Lamar had a big showing in St. Louis when he came here as well. That grossed $370 million across 42 shows. That's insane. Wow. And then you had Tyler, the Creator's Chromacopia World Tour that earned $174.5 million across 98 shows. And then in third place was Where the Party At with Nelly at like $45 million. But, 25 years later, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Yeah. Number 4 was the Grey Dew Tour. Number 5, Travis Scott, the Circus Maximum Tour. Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Forever, the final chamber, was number 6. So, you know what we do here? We promote St. Louisans. We promote the St. Louis situation that's going on all over the area. By the way, speaking of St. Louis, shout out to Kyron Williams, the former Vianney football star and Notre Dame football star, now a star with the Rams He is playing in the game tomorrow. It's the first game at 3:00 on Fox when they're in Carolina for a playoff game. Kyren is expected to play. He's been injured, dealing with an injury, but he's off the IR, back with the team. Should be able to watch him tomorrow. But he was nominated as the Rams' Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. So it already shows you the kind of community work that he's doing and what he's thought of by his team and in circles in the NFL. Now, a part of being honored is you get $25,000 to give to a charity of your choice. And Kyren selected the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis, and he gave them a $25,000 donation. Brandon Williams, the CEO and president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis, said the choice speaks volumes about Kyren's character. It's just a really awesome thing that he did by giving it to him. They support 15,000 boys and girls in the region. That's a lot. It is a lot. So St. Louis, honored to have Kyren Williams doing that, giving back. They focus, by the way, on 18 programs, education, athletics, and overall development. So February 5th is when the NFL will announce their Walter Payton Man of the Year award. We'll see if he's got a shot there, but it's just a really, really big deal when that happens. Another Rams player said this, and he said, quote, "It's a silent vote. It's a vote of confidence in your teammate. It says, I see you. I see what you're doing. With 53 guys on a roster and even more involved in a team, everyone has the opportunity to give back. For Kyren to be recognized that way is extremely impactful." So that's a big deal that he gets voted on. And his teammates think that much of him as well, because not only is he succeeding on the football field, Kyren is succeeding in life away from the field as well. So awesome to see that story. And we've got so many St. Louis area men and women doing so many wonderful, cool things across the country in a variety of industries. So we try to promote them. That's what we do here. So big time honor for Kyren being named by his teammates, and then giving back to the area and giving back to the St. Louis Boys and Girls Club, which is really, really cool. By the way, the Rams are 10-point favorites tomorrow. Was it 10-point favorites at Carolina? That's interesting. The game tomorrow night should be interesting too. Jacksonville hosting the Buffalo Bills. Those are the two NFL games, both with a lot of intrigue for sure from that standpoint when it comes to what we'll see tomorrow night. Also tomorrow, basketball. How about Mizzou? Mizzou has a chance to go 3-0 in SEC play after the smackdown Illinois gave them by 42, 43 points in the bragging rights game. So Missouri comes back out at home, upsets a ranked Florida team, goes on the road, beats a very good, or at least a Kentucky team that has a lot of good players, maybe not playing well right now, beats them. Now they're going to Ole Miss where they're a slight favorite, and they could start the season 3-0 in the SEC out of nowhere. A couple guys back that were not healthy. Certainly looks like it's changing things. And of course, that's a big deal. Tomorrow, that game, 5:00 for Mizzou. And not only Mizzou playing tomorrow with if they go 3-0 in the SEC, I know this is going to sound crazy. They may start getting votes for the top 25, like significant votes. I know it sounds nuts. Definitely back talking about a tournament team. No doubt about that. Or at least a tournament talk team from that standpoint. And then you've got SLU. SLU's just dominating the competition. I wish the Atlantic 10 was better than what it is, but it is what it is right now. So you do what you can do. You get all that done. You dominate the schedule that's put before you, and you win the conference, and then you get a good seed for the NCAA tournament. They're going to have to win their conference more than likely, but if they dominate through and then have a mess up, that happens. But I think we've gotten so used to SLU having maybe some mess ups in their postseason tournament and not get in the NCAA tournament, we start looking for reasons to kind of justify it. This is too good of a team. What Coach Scherz has put together and his offense and how efficient they are, it's fun to watch. They've got the players. They're deep. They can play. I think they can play with anybody. Love it. Love to see what SLU's doing. Should be fun to watch what they do. They got LaSalle tomorrow. They're going to absolutely tear through that team. I'm sorry. I think LaSalle's like 5-11 or something, 5-12. It's not very good. I can tell you that much. Not at all. So SLU in action tomorrow. Look forward to that game, see what they can get done. SLU and LaSalle play tomorrow. That game's scheduled for 3 p.m. On the road. And then, of course, we'll see where they get going from that standpoint. Hey, by the way, speaking of SLU and their arena, Chaffetz, Richard Chaffetz, who donated the money, is now he has an ownership part group with San Francisco Giants, if you didn't see that. That's pretty cool. Tony Vitello, St. Louis area, DeSmet, went to Mizzou, of course, coached Tennessee to a national baseball title. Now the manager with the San Francisco Giants. And then you have the St. Louis connection now with Richard Chaffetz as a part owner. So congrats to Chaffetz from that standpoint, becoming an owner. I mean, yeah, baseball's good business too. We'll see if there's going to be baseball at the start of next season, not the one coming up at the following season. But obviously Richard Chaffetz is a dynamic business personality, prominent business leader, philanthropist, and so forth. So he said, quote, "I'm proud to be a part of the ownership group of the San Francisco Giants. This is an iconic franchise led by a team of outstanding executives and owners. We look forward to supporting the Giants organization in pursuit of excellence, both on and off the field." Now, the announcement did not disclose or give any of the financial terms of Chaffetz's ownership stake with the Giants, but he is a part of it. And of course, you know what we do. We promote the St. Louis side of things that we see happening throughout the area and wish him certainly the best with the Giants, as we hope our Cardinals can turn things around someday and get things going on where we want to see it and what's going on from that standpoint. By the way, if you didn't know, if you're just joining us, because we have people coming in and out all the time, if you have story ideas, you have interviews of any standpoint, let us know. Jump in on Facebook, X, and YouTube. That's where you can stream us live Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. We love it when you guys come into the show. We love it when you guys give us ideas, participate, promote St. Louis. Let us know about events that are happening, the charitable events, any shout outs to individuals, just doing anything good in the community, trying to help out. That's what it's about. People giving back that would never promote their own work, toot their own horn, so to speak. We love to do that. And it doesn't matter. Men, women, boys, girls, shout outs for high schools, whatever you guys want to do from that standpoint, keep us posted. That's what we do here. And of course, making the most of what we can from that standpoint. We talked about it, the Blues in action tonight. Let's see where they go from that standpoint. Also, you've got the U.S. Figure Skating Championships tonight. If anybody's been to it, let us know. Jump in on the chat line. What you think, how you feel, what you're starting to see from that standpoint. We appreciate that. Also, when it comes to the action, you've got the college football tonight, watch parties, huge contingent of Indiana football fans, alumni in the St. Louis area. Enjoy watching what Indiana has tonight against Oregon. Yesterday, I picked Miami minus the points. The last point spread I saw for tonight was Indiana minus 3.5 against Oregon. I see it being a tight game, maybe a 3-point game. So I'm going to take Oregon and the points. I know that may be a crazy, unpopular pick, but I think that's what I'm going with. So we'll check my status on Monday. At least I hit last night, and then we'll go from there. I do like Missouri over Ole Miss on the road tomorrow. I think that's a 1.5 point spread, maybe 2 point spread. I'm not sure. If anybody's seen that, let me know. I didn't have a chance to look this morning, but they're dominating the college football. Oregon, Indiana, number 1 Indiana versus number 5 Oregon. I mean, come on. What an incredible event that should be. We'll see what the ratings are next week and give you the ratings from that standpoint as well. And of course, it's great to see things have gone super at the U.S. Figure Skating Championship so far, which is what I was talking about a little bit earlier from that standpoint. So Hot Take Central 2.0 coming up next. Cam Jansen, the former Blue. And then, of course, you've got Jim the Cat Hayes, Cardinals broadcaster. They take you till 10 o'clock this morning. Once again, the GSV High School Sports Show. I'm sure they'll be talking about Principia today. The St. Louis area high school basketball team now ranked 2nd in America, ranked as the 2nd best high school basketball team in America by Max Preps. Sure, there's some other tournaments that are going on this weekend. I think it's the Highland Shootout, maybe. I'm not sure. And then, of course, you got Charlie Tuna, who comes in with the posse from 11 to 1 o'clock today. So we appreciate you guys joining us at it always. Remember to stay positive. Have a great day. Have an awesome weekend. We will catch back up with you on Monday at 6 a.m. And as always, if there's anybody that wants to get involved from an advertising standpoint, let us know. If you have story ideas, let us know. Jump in. Let us know at Arch City Now. You can catch us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Appreciate the support that you guys give us every day. Once again, have a great day. For producer Rye, I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. We'll see you on Monday at 6 a.m.